is an unusual talent or party trick that you have
No.
that like very little people know?
I can show you right now.
Do
I
it.
can show you one. You have a quarter? Here's what I would tell people before I do the trick. So I would say, hey, I have a magnetic personality. And people are like, what do you mean you have a magnetic personality? I'm like, watch.
Stop!
Wait. Watch.
Welcome back to the Career Talk with the CIA. I'm your host, Eliza.
And I'm your co-host, Elena.
And today we are welcomed by a very, very special guest. We hold him dear to our hearts. Russell, if you would like to introduce yourself further.
Hey, thanks for having me on the podcast. So I'm Russell Cowan. I'm the campus pastor here at the USW, and I've been doing it this will be the end of my third school year of being the campus pastor.
Okay, so we're going to take a few steps back for you.
All right.
Okay, where did you attend school? College.
College.
I was like, we're not getting into like your elementary and middle school background and stuff.
So I started out at Odessa College in
Okay.
Odessa, Texas,
Mhm.
and then I graduated from UTPB in Odessa, Texas, University of Texas of the Permian Basin.
Okay, and what did you major in?
I had a double major when I graduated. I had a major in leadership
Communication.
studies and communication.
Oh, that makes sense.
I was going to
That
only
makes a lot of
be a
sense.
leadership studies major, and then I got some bad academic advising. And when I thought I was going to graduate, they ended up telling me, hey, by the way, you need like 30 more hours to graduate. And I thought I was graduating that year. And so in order to get those 30 extra hours, I just added a second major for communication. And so that's why I had a double major. It's not because I'm an overachiever.
Oh, I was like, okay, Russell.
No, I was going for the shortest route possible to get a degree, and I thought I had it. And then they told me, oh, yeah, you have 30 more hours to go. So
That would make me so upset.
I was kind of upset.
I bet. And what inspired your major?
So when I was 15 years old, I felt like God was calling me to be a pastor. And when I graduated high school, usually if you're going to be a pastor, you go to Bible college or seminary.
Mm-hmm.
When I graduated, my dad said, if you go to Bible college or seminary, you have to figure out a way to pay for it yourself. Or if you stay at home and go to Odessa College, I'll pay for it.
Oh.
And I'm like, well, okay. I can't really do anything Bible college related at Odessa College or UTPB, but I'm going to go ahead and do something. And so when I finally was going to select a major that I felt could serve me well in ministry, I thought, well, in ministry you have to lead people and you have to communicate. And so that's why I chose leadership studies first and then communication second to be able to lead and communicate in ministry.
Look at you.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Sure.
What were some of your favorite times here at USW?
My favorite times here at USW, wow. Let me think through this for a minute. Definitely, in no particular order of like number one to whatever, getting to play Jungle Pong at FCA is so fun. I love playing that, and there's been some injuries that happened in Jungle Pong. There were some injuries.
Are you talking about me?
I'm not going to name names, but someone hit someone else in the face with a ping pong paddle, and that was...
That was me.
We don't know who
yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
There's no hiding it.
Yeah, like
She busted my lip.
yeah, you got a lip busted. Yeah, that was a great moment.
No, it wasn't. No, it was not.
It was not a great
No.
moment for you. That's definitely way up there.
At least I'm in your memory.
Yeah. Other favorite moments have been just in conversations with students, either at FCA or after chapel, learning how something that was said in the Bible study or something connected with their heart in a way that it hadn't before, seeing that the Bible's come alive to them. Like, I get that I'm a boring Bible teacher, but when things
Where do you
connect,
get that?
when things connect in a way that helps the Bible come alive for someone in a new way or a fresh way, those are the moments that I treasure, that they have understood something about Jesus maybe in a way that they hadn't before. Yeah, can I think through a couple more favorite moments? We were talking about this at FCA the other night when we were leaving. So there are a few moments like from my first year here that I thought like I'm gonna get fired, because of these things. One of them was that like one of the very first FCAs that we ever had, I bought some kind of orange fruit drink in the gallon you can get like at Stripes or something, and it was set up on a table. Huh?
The Tampico?
Yeah, that's it. It was that. Yeah. So it was sitting on a table, and this kid goes to sit down, and when he sits down, his leg hits the table, and it knocks the bottle off the table, and it spilled all over the floor.
Wait, when was this?
This was the first year I was here, so it would have been
Oh,
like
so
fall
it was
of
our senior
2022.
year.
So
Yeah.
the year before we got here.
Lame.
Yeah, and so there's still a stain on the carpet in the atrium, and that I could like take you over there and show you that this
No
this
way.
stain is
You
on
know,
the
we've probably
carpet.
seen that stain so many times,
know.
and we're just like,
Yeah.
stain.
And that's what I'm like. This is a great first impression. Like my first week, we spilled Kool-Aid all over the floor, and
Dang it.
now it's permanently stained.
It's a permanent memory.
A permanent.
know.
Not
left your
permanent
mark on this
damage.
school.
Yeah, no, not permanent damage.
Poor Russell, he's all.
I felt really bad about that one. Let's see, other great memories. I would say, and this is meaningful for me, is seeing the campus ministry get to the point where students are taking leadership roles and leading things. Like you guys have been a part of that, reading scripture at chapel, saying prayers at chapel. Even this year, having students who would lead the entire chapel or speak for just a few minutes at chapel or lead FCA when I'm out of town. Those are the kind of things that have been really meaningful to me, because it's one thing to step into a role like this and lead it, but it's another thing to see it kind of like leaders just kind of naturally be brought up, just by saying, hey, I need someone to do this, and a student being willing to do it. So seeing that the current student involvement has gotten to be where it's at, and I could just step out and know that it's going to be taken care of. The campus ministry is going to be taken care of because there are students who care enough about it to be the leaders. That's been really cool.
That was so cute and sentimental. We could end it there, and it'd be a great podcast. Okay,
I might think of another one in a minute.
That's okay.
Okay, and so I might
That's
have to come
okay.
back. Okay.
Perfectly fine.
That's
All right.
totally okay. Okay, so what? Oh shoot, I didn't mean to start with what. How old were you when you became involved in the church?
In just church in general.
In general, yes.
So
Because obviously you don't. You haven't just been here all your life.
yeah. So I mean, like the church in Hobbs.
Or
involved, or just all the way back?
Just the church life.
So I would literally have like been born to a family that was involved in church. Like it goes all the way back to birth. So like I was born, raised, going to church every my parents were pretty dedicated. Like Sunday morning, Sunday night, Wednesday night. If there was
goodness.
something in church, our family was there.
Aw.
Like that we were that involved.
So, excuse me. So when did you start understanding church? If that makes sense.
Wow.
Because understanding it and attending it are two different things.
Sure, that's right. I would say when I was like 5 years old.
Smart 5-year-old.
Well, I'll give you different stages, okay? 'Cause I would say my understanding of church has changed at different stages in my life to maybe a deeper or more meaningful understanding. So when I was 5 years old, that was when I realized, like, I'm a bad kid. I disobey my parents. I lie, steal, cheat, things like that. And that puts me at odds with God, and my sin has to be taken care of somehow, or God's going to punish me forever. And so that's when I understood the gospel in enough to believe it. Understood that Jesus lived his life, died his death, and rose again for my lying, cheating, and disobeying my parents and all my sins. And I realized that at 5 years old. And so I believed the gospel. I was baptized right after that, just the next Sunday maybe. So that I would say,
You Googled it.
yeah, we were quick. That was my earliest understanding, was believing the gospel. And then when I was 15 years old, that's what I said this a while ago, that was when I felt a distinct sense that God was calling me to be a pastor, but I didn't know what that meant. So that was another defining moment in me understanding what church was about, was God might be calling me to be a pastor, and I didn't want to be a pastor.
No, yeah.
And then, but when I would say when I really I was raised in churches, and I'm thankful for the churches I was raised in, but a lot of it was very surface level, like it was really almost a mix, and I might get myself in trouble for this, and you can put this out there. I'm okay with this being publicized. The churches that I was involved in, it was very much like it was a mix of politics and patriotism in the church, and I kind of felt like that's what Christianity meant was, just vote the right way and be really patriotic and you're going to be great, right? And say you believe in Jesus.
So you were learning the wrong way.
Yeah, right.
To go about it.
I'd learned the gospel through those churches, but that was also stuff that was heavily mixed in. And I'm like, I early on, 15 to 20 years old, I'm like, I don't know if this is right. And when I got into my 20s, I started listening to some sermons from people that weren't the people I was used to listening to, and they were speaking biblical truth in a way that didn't have that stuff in it. It didn't have politics and patriotism mixed in. It was clear biblical gospel truth. And I'm like, this is feeding my soul in a way that I've never been fed in my entire life.
Yeah.
And so in my 20s, so like age probably 20 to 25 was where I really developed the understanding of the church that I have now. It's certainly changed even since 25 years old. But that 20 to 25 years old was when it was those kind of the major building blocks of what made me understand Christianity the way that I do now.
What are some things you've learned about both you and your career goals while here at USW?
What have I learned about myself and my career goals while here at the USW? One thing that I've learned about myself being here at the USW is especially starting this when I did, I think I was 39 or so, 39 or 40 years old. It made me realize that there's a pretty wide age gap between 40 years old and 18 or 19 years old. The students that I basically minister to. So it made me feel like, man, I was a youth pastor for a long time. When I was a youth pastor, I was close to the same age as the teenagers. But then I stepped out of youth ministry for a long time, and I've been a senior pastor where I primarily deal with adults. But then stepping back into a role where I'm dealing with some who are teenagers up into their 20s, made me realize, wow, like I feel my age. It made me feel my age, right? When I stepped into this role. So I would say that's one thing I learned about myself is, I'm really feel like I'm like 42 years old now. Whatever. I know that sounds really old to y'all.
No, my mom's older than that. Sorry, Mom.
Wow. No, that's all right. Yeah, and that's a side note is I've had conversations with students like where some of them, their parents are older than me, and some of them their parents are younger than me, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like that just kind of makes me feel.
I could be your grandpa.
I could be. Some of them, really, like I could be your grandpa, or So that I would say that what I've learned about myself is it's helped me realize the age that I am.
Yeah.
And what have I learned about my career goals here? I would say, without question, being at USW has helped me to solidify. Sorry.
Looks at wall.
I'm sorry. It's helped me to solidify that what I want to spend my life doing is helping people treasure Jesus.
Aww.
Like I said at FCA the other day, like I want to spend my life helping people to say, for to me to live is Christ and to die is gain.
Yeah.
More than, I wouldn't say more than ever, but just as much as ever, it's helped me to say, like, this is what I want my life to be about, is when I die, it's okay if people forget me. I want people to remember Jesus, and that's what I want my life to be about.
Aw. Yeah. Okay, we'll wipe your tears because these aren't sad.
It's all right.
questions.
I'm good.
Oh, I have another question now.
No, I mean I'm not doing the fun questions right now.
Okay.
But I was okay. So a little birdie told me. I'm just kidding. Everyone knows you love fishing.
Yes. That's
so, when did you figure out your interest in fishing?
That's a great question, and that's a great memory. So, when I was little, 4, 5, 6 years old, my dad didn't have fun at all. He was all work, no play all the time, and that's okay. I love my dad. Dad, if you watch this, I love you, and I'm thankful for everything you've done for our family. And he's still that way today. My dad is all work, no play. But my grandfather, so my mom's dad, he was all work in the oil field, but he was also, when I'm not working, I want to be fishing. And so he taught me to fish. My grandfather did. From the time some of my earliest memories as a kid are being with my grandfather and uncles, cousins at the lake or a fishing pond and fishing and catching fish, and then me doing stupid things like losing all the fish and I had lots of things that I messed up in fishing over the years. But from being a little kid and loving fishing with my grandfather and uncles and just the thrill of catching a fish and then the deliciousness of eating a fish, like when you cook one and all that. From the time I was 5 years old, I loved it. And then into my 10, 11, 12 years old, our family did not have cable TV. Like growing up, my dad was like, I'm not paying $35 for cable. I'm like, okay, so we didn't have cable. So we had like 5 channels. Well, I would spend the night often at one of my cousin's house, and they had cable. So we would spend the night, at the end of the school week, spend the night at his house on Friday. They had cable. Well, I would get up, and they would have on ESPN professional fishing. And I'm like, this is on a sports channel, and it's fishing. And these guys are like dressed in awesome jerseys, driving awesome boats, and catching big fish and making, $100,000 if they win. And I'm like, I want to do that. Like that looks awesome. And so when I was in that age range, I realized, wow, you could actually like have fishing as a career. Like that's amazing. And so that really fueled. My grandfather laid the foundation for me to love fishing, seeing it on TV. And guys, the same channel you watch a football game, I was getting to watch professional fishermen. I'm like, that's what I want to do with my life. Obviously, I'm not doing that, but that was a huge fuel for fishing for me.
But you haven't let go of it either. Like it's still a hobby. Okay, so is there any other activity that you would prefer over fishing, or is fishing like your number one?
Oh my gosh, any other activity that I would prefer over fishing? I would say the only thing that could make fishing better or be better than fishing is doing fishing with my family at the beach.
That'd be so cute.
Doing those things at the same time.
That sounds like a Hallmark movie.
Yeah, and I've gotten to do that once or twice. Hopefully in 2 weeks from today, I'll be doing that exact thing, actually.
How
yeah.
Cool.
So as soon as school's out, we're going to go to the beach for a few days.
Aww.
And so I'll get to do that there. But fishing with my family at the beach is as good as it gets for me.
Aww.
Yeah.
They're so cutie. Okay, and when this is kind of going back to your school days a little bit, I feel like that made you sound so old.
I know. Thanks for adding to realizing how old I am, Eliza.
So mean.
This is the USW roast of Russell County.
I'm sorry. Okay. Did you ever play any other sports in school, or did you just went to school and went home and fished?
So there's a long answer. I have a long answer for everything. Okay.
That's okay.
So the answer to that question is I went to public school, kindergarten through 6th grade. And in school, in those years, I did not play any sports other than like PE and the stuff they made us do.
Yeah.
And I was always the slowest and the fattest kid in PE, and I'm not making that up. I have pictures to prove it.
Can we insert some?
I could give you one.
That would be so funny. Can we insert a picture?
It's a
right
very,
here.
it's a picture. Okay, so that was elementary school. In 6th grade, my mom took us out of public school and started homeschooling us. So in homeschool, in Odessa, they had a couple of like homeschool sporting leagues where like the homeschoolers got together.
Oh, is that what your girls do?
My girls actually participate through the Hobbs Public Schools.
Oh, okay.
They're private schooled here, but they get to do the public school activities.
Oh, okay.
So in Odessa, it was like the homeschoolers got together, formed a little coalition of other homeschoolers. I know, and they are
That's so funny.
Some of them were exactly what you expect with stereotypical homeschoolers. I'll just put it there like that. So anyway, we would get together with these other homeschool families, and they formed like a girls volleyball team, boys football and basketball, and then we would actually play against other Christian schools in Odessa, Midland. Sometimes we would go to Abilene, San Angelo, and play against them.
It was like a little club team.
It was like little club teams for homeschoolers, yeah. And so, listen, I cannot emphasize enough that I was never an athletic person, but the only social interaction I could get was my friends through church that were homeschoolers saying, hey, come play on the basketball team with us. And I'm like, okay.
Little Russell.
Little Russell. No, listen, all disclosure here. Full on, this is who I am. I was the guy that they would put in at the very end of the game.
So you could have minutes on the field?
When they had, like a 20-point lead and there was no possible way that we can lose this game, they would put me in and make the other players give me the ball to give me a chance. And I have a picture of me in my basketball uniform.
Inserted here.
Yeah.
Wait, if I deep dive, will I find videos of this?
No, this was before phone videos and such like this. I mean, yeah, there's a picture that it comes up in my social media memories every once in a while, and if you saw that picture, you wouldn't think it was me. Like, first time we showed my daughters, we're like, look at this. Who do you think this is? And they were like, I don't know. And I'm like, that's me when I was 15 years old playing basketball on a homeschool basketball team.
We are getting those pictures.
I'll give one to you. Just remind me. So I played basketball on a homeschool basketball team, and then I had an interest in golf when I was a teenager. Like, I actually liked to watch golf. Some people like to watch golf to take a nap. I like to watch golf because I thought golf was cool, and so I kind of got into golf.
I'm the nap guy.
You're the nap person when it's golf. So I got into golf just watching it on TV, and then I had a cousin that played golf too, and so I didn't know how to play. I didn't ever get coaching or anything. I just liked being outside and playing golf, and so I never played on a team or for a club or in tournaments, but I just liked playing golf. So, yeah.
Do you ever just go out to our golf course and go play?
I do. I play probably once every 6 or 8 weeks. I'll play golf with someone.
That's valid.
Yeah.
Imagine he went out there with Genesis.
Who's that?
One of our tall friends
All right.
on the soccer team.
Oh, okay. Got it.
My turn. Okay. So, what do you plan to do after you leave the USW? After your 3 years here?
After my 3 years here, so I'm going to devote myself full-time to my church, which I've been full-time with my church since we started the church in 2019. But when I stepped in here, I've kind of given my church about 15 hours or so a week less so I can be involved in the campus ministry here. And so I'm going to devote myself back 100% of my time to my church. Our church is in a really good place right now. We're growing and seeing people become Christians and be baptized, and they need me to be full-time every day of the week devoted to them. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to be full-time devoted to the people of my church.
Okay. Well, now we'll get started into these fun questions.
All right. I'm excited.
Yay.
So for the first one, what was your favorite subject in school?
So when I was little, like elementary school, my favorite subject was science. Like, I got first place in science fairs when I was, a kid. I made myself be really good at spelling.
Made yourself?
Yes, I'll give you the reason why. I made myself be good at spelling because if I got hundreds on my spelling test on Friday, I got to go rent a video game at the video game store.
That's
what I'm saying.
Involved.
That's exactly right. So either Blockbuster, which some of y'all know what that is, or there was like a local mom and pop video store right down the street from our house. And so if I got 100 on my spelling test, I got to go rent a video game. And we're talking NES, Nintendo, not Super Nintendo, not Nintendo 64, NES. So I would get to go rent a video game. And so I was really good at spelling because I like to rent video games. Later in school, like junior high, high school, actually, my favorite subject was math. Algebra, stuff like that, I was really good at it.
You want to help Eliza with that spelling?
Spelling.
I can spell spelling. Wait, so, okay, by make yourself good at spelling, was it cheating, or you were just like, oh, I'm going to get this word,
No, if it was...
Like, it was like genuine studying?
It was genuine studying. No, I would like write the spelling words 5 or 10 times before the spelling test, to make sure that I could spell them right. Yeah.
Checking my hand. I told on my shoe.
Yeah. Those are good methods. I mean, I guess.
Don't let your kids watch this. I'm a bad influence.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, this is about you and your girls, okay?
Okay.
What is the weirdest food combo you and or your girls have come up with that you've eaten?
The weirdest food combo.
Yes.
Wow, they get really creative because they watch a lot of YouTube videos
Oh no.
about, like, whatever they call them, try this, huh? Giovanni, yeah. Try this shocking food combination and it's going to blow your mind. And so my kids watch those videos and they're like, Dad, let's try this. And so with my younger daughter, it would have something to do with ramen because she likes ramen, but not like the, 10 packages for $1 ramen. She likes this ramen that you've never seen the package of before and you can only buy it in certain places and it's super spicy ramen.
Does it start with a B?
Yes.
I know it. The one that Ashley
Yeah.
It's like, that one.
It's like bull some.
The bulldog or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
what I was
that's it.
thinking.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, so me and my younger daughter both like really spicy foods,
Uh-huh.
and so we kind of have like a challenge, like who can handle the spiciest food. And so she gets these spicy ramens, and she's like, "Dad, let's try this spicy ramen." I'm like, "Okay, let's try it." So she'll try some, and I'll try some, and so I would say, I mean, that's not so much a food combo as it is like, I don't like ramen, and I know that that's probably
Uh-huh.
sad, but it's just like, okay, let's try this spicy ramen that I've never had before. So
Do you guys ever add anything to them?
sometimes sometimes she gets a little creative, and by the time she's done, I'm like, I don't know if I want to try that anymore. Like she'll put garlic and chicken and cheese and
That's the good
I
stuff.
know.
Yeah,
Okay, I
like-
don't
like-
personally add cheese to
No, not
mine,
cheese,
but I'm not a cheese fan.
everything else sounds
But
good.
garlic, yeah. You ever add some slap your mama into it?
slap your mama.
And that sounds terrible with no context, but it's a great spicy seasoning.
It's
Okay.
seasoning. Yes.
Okay, chat. That was
I love
funny.
it. Yeah.
Okay, you.
You already do your phone question? Your first one?
Yeah, food combo.
Oh, okay. Anyway, so
Sorry, guys.
if you could eliminate one state, what would it be and why?
Oh my gosh. If I could eliminate one state,
50
what
states.
would it be and why?
You want to be left with 49.
This is really
Who's in last place?
this is really challenging because I mean, I already know the state in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was the
You
first
just-
state that came to my mind is
You just don't want to say it?
I don't want to say it because like there's students on there's students I know here who are from that state.
We don't get mad.
But it would be I would not eliminate any of the people I know from this state. I would want to still know all of them, but it would be California.
Such a big state. Where are
It's
you
a
going to
big
put all
state.
those people?
It's a big state. The reason
I did not think he was going to say Cali.
What did you think I was going to say?
The first one I thought of was like Idaho or Utah.
Idaho or Utah? No.
Who's gonna tell him?
I know, that's what I'm like, Josh, I love you. But the reason, and Josh would agree with me, I think, on this one.
Uh-huh.
Okay, the reason is because the political culture in California is so awful.
Yeah.
Like they are like one of the brokest states in the country, and
Which is actually insane.
which is insane because there's so many people and so much money there. But it's because the state is so poorly run politically.
Yeah.
They're incredibly broke, and they just seem to be okay with that. So that's
I wish I was okay with
California. But California is beautiful. I've been there. I drove there last year with my dad. There's great fishing out there.
So
Anyway,
you never would have fished if you got it.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay. Okay. Fishing. We're talking about fishing.
All right.
What is your all-time favorite fishing memory?
Wow.
Is it Mike?
That's what I was about to say.
Y'all.
Inside joke. We don't
Yeah,
prefer
inside joke.
Mike.
Yeah. I'll give two. Can I give two? Because I have two
Yeah.
that are
No,
pretty
yeah.
equal. So the most recent one is last fall, the week of Thanksgiving actually. So the
Uh-huh.
week of Thanksgiving, we went to the beach,
Mhm.
and which the same beach we're going to go here in a few weeks. And like honestly, I'm not that great of a fisherman. I'm okay, right? I can do a few things, but I'm not that great. I just sometimes I'm in the right place at the right time and catch fish.
Mhm.
Well, me and my wife and my younger daughter went to this spot, and we had fished at this same spot before and not caught any fish. And we were just there fishing, kind of chilling, literally sitting on rocks on the beach
Mhm.
fishing, and had a couple of lines in the water, and one of the lines started getting a bite. And I pick it up and start reeling it in, and I realize it's a fish, and it's an okay one, so I give it to my wife. She starts reeling it in, and she's like, I think this is a really big fish. And I'm like, okay. And so I'm watching her fight the fish, and I can tell as it gets closer that it is like a really big fish. And but that spot we had fished before, we had only caught these kind of like trashy ocean catfish. And that's what I was expecting it to be, was a trashy ocean catfish. And they're slimy, and it's just, they're gross. Like, you get one in, and you take it off the hook, and you just got this layer of slime all over your hands.
Talking.
I mean, it's gross.
Continue.
So she's reeling the fish in, and she's like, it's getting huge, it's huge. And I'm like, okay. And so as it gets real close, the water's kind of muddy, so you can't really see, but it comes up, and she was like, oh my gosh, it's a massive redfish, which is what you want. It's the right kind, right? And I'm like, oh my gosh, it is a big redfish. And so we're on these jagged boulders, right, that are sloped towards the water, and there's algae on them. And then, so if you get down there and hit the algae, you're going in, right? And it's probably impossible to get out. So it's like a dangerous situation. And I'm trying to, like, get down there to get the fish while she's fighting the fish. And so it was like one of these, like, it's a Nicolas Cage moment, and that's a side note there. I got to save the day, right? So, or Superman superhero moment. So I scale down these jagged rocks, have the fishing line, because you have to keep the line off the rocks, or the line of the rocks will cut the line. So I'm holding the line to keep it from being cut. See the fish right there, and I lunge down and grab the steel leader, and then I just like hoist this fish up onto the bank, and it's about this big, and I'm not joking. I know fishermen lie and tell stories. I got pictures to prove this. It's like this big.
Insert picture.
I'll show you the picture.
All pictures are going right here.
And like by this time, all these people that were up and down saw everything happening, and so they came and they were watching everything. So like, I get to be the hero catching the fish in front of this large group of people, and I was like, yeah, that's what's up. I'm a good fisherman, you know?
What's up? I'm that guy.
Yeah. And so there were like people taking pictures of this fish and everything. Anyway, so that's one of my most favorite moments.
I think it's cool too, because technically your wife got to catch it.
She got to catch it, yeah.
And you were like,
got to land
just catfish.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah, that was a great moment.
Was it just you and your wife, or were your kids?
My younger daughter was there, but at the time that we were catching this fish, she had got bored and was sitting in the truck reading, so she didn't even see all the glory of the moment. So I would say that's one of my top. Yeah. Another would be at one of the tournaments that I fish. I fish it every September. I've been fishing it for 14 years.
Dang.
I know. Like, that's how old I am. Over the last, like, how old were you 14 years ago?
6.
5.
Yeah, right.
Dang.
That's what I'm saying. So,
I was in kinder, bro.
Kinder, when I started fishing this tournament. Yeah. I fished that tournament like 10 years, and it wasn't, or I fished it all together for 14 years. Last year was, I think, my 14th year. But like 5 years ago, I actually started winning money, which I'm not ahead yet. I've spent way more trying than I've actually won in competing. But
we don't have to get into that. You've won money.
I've won money.
You've won money.
Just the thrill of like catching a fish, going to the stage, weighing the fish in, sitting in line, and then the line closing and realizing, oh wow, I just won $800 on one little fish. You know, that's probably in my top moments, is getting to do that a few times.
Nice. Yeah. Okay, what is an unusual talent or party trick that you have?
Oh my goodness.
If he busts down and does the
knows.
worm right now.
No.
That like very little people know.
I can show you right now.
Do
I
it.
can show you one. Do you have a quarter or a dime or a nickel, a penny, any kind of coin? I could show you.
Where's your purse?
Actually, I haven't done this in a long time.
Can I go grab it?
Yeah, I don't know if I have anything in there, but you can check.
Be right back, chat.
I haven't done this in a long time. I used to do this all the time.
Dang, I swear. I think. Aha. Nice. Yay. Okay, we're
So-
back. Hey.
Here's what I would tell people before I do the trick. So I would say, hey, I have a magnetic personality. And people are like, what do you mean you have a magnetic personality? I'm like, watch.
Stop.
Wait, watch. See? People are just drawn to me because I have a magnetic personality.
You are so funny.
Wait,
What the
wait,
heck?
watch. Oh, shoot, there it goes.
Shh, cut that out. Cut that out. That's crazy. I did not expect you. Ew, it's all warm.
I know. Well, honestly, it's because my head's very oily, and it just,
No.
it sticks.
Yuck.
But, yeah.
Wait, what the heck? That was so cool that I was actually in awe. I did not because I don't think it would stick to my forehead. I'm not going to try.
It
So it looks like it works on everyone.
Look at that. Did you move it around? Move it around, look at that. So you now have your own.
that out.
Oh, look, it's sticking.
Okay, so in light of the fun questions, the fun moments, whatever, we're going to play a game.
All right.
Okay, and it's called blind ranking. So it's going to be me and you playing. She's going to be listing out the stuff we're ranking. And the idea is we have 5 slots, 1 through 5, whatever. She's going to call everything out one by one. And we have to blindly rank those things 1 through 5. But once we put it like, okay, say we're doing fast food, because that's what we did last time, so I know that's not what we're doing right now. But say we do fast food, and she says Taco Bell, and I put that at 4. I can't move it. And then she says McDonald's, so I can't put it at 4. I have 1, 2, 3, or 5.
Okay.
And then
Very
we have
smart.
to fill up all 5, and then we'll go over it and be like, would you change anything? Do you like the way it's set up?
So you're going to say pizza, and you're going to say something,
Yes,
and I
the
put it in
category is
number
pizza.
1 to 4, 1 to 5.
1 to 5.
1 to 5.
Okay, got it.
But whatever place you put it in, it's stuck there.
can't
it has
move
to
it.
stay.
So if you
So
leave
if
your
you have
number 1 open, and then she says the last one, and that's your number 1, and you're like, ugh, why is that
And you
number
hate
1?
it, like
Okay.
Then we'll just go over it and be like, would you switch something? Do you like your list? Whatever.
Okay.
It's just a little, it's supposed to be an icebreaker, but we ended up playing it in the middle.
Got
so.
it. That's okay.
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 Ready.
First place, FCA favorite, Domino's.
Okay. And it'll just be a mental list at the moment.
Got it.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not gonna say it.
No, because I was going to write it down, but it's okay. It's
We
only
could
5.
say it. I don't know. Are you gonna remember the list, like all of them?
You're right. I don't know.
Okay.
Just say what it is. What place are you gonna put it at?
I'm putting mine at 1.
Domino's is number 1 for me.
Number
Yeah.
1?
Yeah.
Okay. Now we'll go to Pizza Hut.
Number 5.
I'm going to say 4 because I don't know what pizza places you chose.
Okay. Let's do Little Caesars.
I'll
Can we
say,
say it?
Huh?
Can we
Yeah.
say 3?
I was going to say 3.
We'll go to a Hop's favorite, Pizza Inn.
2.
5. Sorry.
And last but not least, Papa John's.
That's 4. That's the only
Oh,
place left.
my 2 is what's open.
Yeah.
I would have switched my Little Caesars and my Papa John's.
Yeah, if I was going to switch, I would put Papa John's last and Pizza Hut above Papa John's. I would just switch 4 and 5 because Papa John's is disgusting.
That's valid. I don't like Papa John's, but I also have a biased, disagreement with them.
No.
So, because my sister's ex used to work at Papa John's, so I stopped going.
So I'll tell you real
But-
quick.
And I don't understand the peppers.
See, the peppers
Why
are
does it come
alright.
with peppers?
The peppers are okay.
I just don't understand.
You just don't like peppers. It's just the you thing.
Yes, I do. But why is it coming with my pizza?
Because why not? Why does it come with garlic sauce? Why not?
Because pizza and garlic go together.
Do you not get peppers on pizza sometimes?
If it's coming with the pizza, put it on. Okay? Put it on the pizza. Why do I get a 2-bite peppercini with an 8-slice pizza? That makes no sense. You don't even get a bite per pizza.
Yeah.
Like what? And what if there's multiple people who want it? It's not even enough to share.
First come, first serve.
Okay, whatever.
The reason Papa John's is gross, and we haven't had it in a very long time, but it was either Christmas or Thanksgiving, this last Christmas or Thanksgiving. We had been to Odessa to see my family. We were coming back, and it was one of the only restaurants open was Papa John's. We wanted pizza. Something about Thanksgiving and Christmas dinner makes me want pizza, and so
Okay.
I know it's weird.
Do you not make a dinner?
What? Yeah, we do. But like
But you
after
just
eating
want
all that,
pizza
it's like you just
after.
want pizza later. So Papa John's was open. We ordered some to go, and we got home. Papa John's is so disgusting because their crust tastes like they put sugar in it. It's
Low-key?
it's a very sweet
Yeah.
crust, and that makes it gross.
I
So,
agree. I second that.
Pizza crust should not be sweet.
Yeah.
Here's a life information for you.
Yes.
Any kind of sweet bread should only be for dessert. There should not be sweet bread anywhere in the main course.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I agree.
There you go.
I like the way this guy thinks.
Okay, let's get started on the other group
Okay.
of questions. So
Oh,
first
yes.
one I have is, how does your faith inform your career decisions?
That's not a 1 to 5 thing.
Oh,
Oh,
no,
the
we're
game's
done.
over.
These are questions. sorry.
All
The
right.
game is over.
You're like my kids. You change the subject
Sorry.
in the middle of the conversation. I'm like, whoa.
That was a swift.
There was no warning.
I forgot that it only made sense to us because we have the cards in our hand.
I know.
I was like, what do you mean? We're on to the questions.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
out of the pizza
that's great.
talk.
How does my faith inform my career decisions?
Yes.
I would say, particularly for me being a pastor, it's I feel that if God's called me to ministry, I should pursue something in ministry no matter what.
Mhm.
To go back, I'll try to be as brief as I can. There was a time where I was working at a church. I was being the youth pastor there, and I quit because I felt like I was too old to do youth ministry. And this
Mhm.
was like 20 years ago almost, right? Maybe 15 years ago. And I didn't want to do youth ministry anymore. I didn't like it. Well, I was looking for a job, and I got a job offer working as a Bluebell truck ice cream driver. I've never told y'all this before.
No.
Like, this was my job. They said, we want to hire you. And I would have been the guy driving the Bluebell truck that delivers Bluebell ice cream to stores and stuff like that. Well, the same day, I know. The same day that I got that job offer for Bluebell, another church called me and said, hey, would you come be our youth pastor? And I'm like, I don't want to be a youth pastor anymore. You know, like I wanted to
Do
be
you want to be an
out
ice
of
cream
that
man?
life. But do I want to be a Bluebell ice cream man? And so I'm like, I go home, talk to my wife about it, and I had a friend in ministry that I called to ask him some advice, and he was like, look, if you really believe that God has called you to ministry, you should try to stay in ministry, even if it's not something you particularly want to do right now. And I'm like, okay. So I woke up the next day, I called Bluebell Ice Cream and said, thank you for the job offer, but I've gotten another offer doing something that's more in line with what I want to do with the rest of my life, so I'm going to go back to that. So in that moment, I could have taken the career path of being a Bluebell ice cream driver, but I ended up staying in ministry, doing something I didn't necessarily want to do because it kept me in the path of ministry. And so I believe that God's called me to be a pastor for the rest of my life, and so anything that I will do as a career will have something to do with being, a pastor in ministry. Can I give a side note about the Bluebell ice cream job?
Yes, of course.
This may have had something to do with the fact that I didn't want to go to work there, but I mean, it was a job that was a legitimate offer. You have to imagine back then, no beard, okay? But I had this right here, like the goatee thing, okay? And that's kind of how the whole facial hair thing started.
Do we have an insert picture? I'm just kidding.
I do, actually. I have pictures of
perfect.
this.
Insert picture.
Yeah, I got pictures of me just goatee only, and it was very, very short.
Yeah.
Bluebell told me that they were an old-fashioned company and that they did not allow any hair below the lip. And so I would have only been able to have a mustache if I went to work for Bluebell. And so I'm like, I'd had a goatee for quite a
You
while.
have to shave your beard.
I would have had to shave the goatee that I had, just this part down here. I would have had to shave it off and only have hair here.
First of all, I can't imagine that.
Russell with the mustache is what it would have been. That's all I could have
Your
had
head would
working
be
for Bluebell.
so naked.
Yeah, it would be bad.
His head would be naked.
Yep.
We can't have missing hair on both ends.
Yeah.
Okay, so has faith always been a priority when making any decision, like even like career, life, little decisions, big decisions?
Sure. Absolutely. When I was in my 20s, kind of really figuring out what I was going to do as far as the path I was going to pursue and the understanding that I have of God and His Word. And I shared this verse at FCA the other day, was as whether you eat or drink or whatever you do all to the glory of God.
Yes.
And so that's 1 Corinthians 10:31. If you want to go look it up, you should go look it up and read it. I wanted to pursue career and all other decisions in my life in a way that I felt like this would bring glory to God and not shame to God. And so that affected, honestly, like who I married, because this is like a lot of information here. I only had one other girlfriend in my life besides the woman I'm married to right now.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a girl that I started going out with in college. First girlfriend I ever had when I was 20 years old.
How cutie.
I know. And it became apparent pretty quickly in that relationship that if I'm going to be a pastor in long-term ministry, I can't be with this girl. Because I didn't feel like she would be a wife that complimented me in ministry.
Yes.
And so I only went out with her for a month, and I broke up with her because I'm like, this is not going to go anywhere.
You missed out, Miss Ma'am.
And so I broke up with her. Well, what informed that breakup was my faith in God and being a person who wants to pursue a career in ministry informed me. It informed how I chose the person that I was going to go out with and potentially marry. And so I broke up with that girl and literally like decided I was going to only focus on finishing college because I was still in college then. And like a month later, through a long series of events, I started going out with the woman who became my wife.
Aw.
How cute. Okay, next
He
question.
lives in a Hallmark movie, bro.
It's not like it seems sometimes. It's not perfect,
Hallmark.
certainly.
How do you balance both your faith and your career responsibilities?
That's a great question.
Hey, that was a good question.
Yeah. So, in my early ministry days, for a long time it was seen as if you're going to be a pastor of any kind in Christian ministry, you devote yourself 100% to the church all the time, no matter what, and give all of yourself to the church, and your family gets the leftovers. And that resulted in, for many years, marriages breaking up because the dad, or the father in the family, was so devoted to the church that he didn't give any of himself to his family.
Aw.
And I had a really wise guy, a wise man, not wise guy, a wise
guy.
I had him tell me early in my ministry days, he said, as a pastor, your number one ministry is to your family first, not to the church.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what does that mean? And then he told me his own story. His own story was he was giving 100% of himself to the church, not at home very much. And one day he got home from a church event, and his wife and the kids were packed up in the car leaving because they were like, we don't even get to see you. We don't even know you. You're going to have to decide if you're going to be married to us or to the church. And so, I mean, they were able to salvage their marriage and keep it together and stayed married for the rest of their lives together. But
That's crazy.
it was, I could never let my faith in Jesus and my devotion to him become something that got in the way of my relationship with my wife and my kids.
Yeah.
And so the way I think the question was the way that my faith,
How do you balance?
How do you
How do I
balance both your
balance?
faith and your career?
the way I balance has always been my family takes priority over everything. Because me having a healthy marriage and a healthy relationship with my kids actually helps me be a better pastor and a better shepherd of the flock, or whoever I'm caring for, whether it's my church or the students at the university. But the balance comes with I'm going to always devote myself to my family first.
Dang, that was good. With you being a pastor and kind of tying in sort of with this, is your family like just as involved in the church as you are?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. So when we got ready to move here to start the church, because it was a brand new church, it wasn't a church that existed already when we got here, it was made really clear between me and my wife, like if I go to plant this church, I need you, I want you to be as involved or uninvolved. I don't want to force you into like giving as much of yourself to this as I do. But she said, no, look, we're in this together, and I'll devote as much of myself as I can to it. And so all along for the last 5.5 years or 6 years that we've been here, we moved here in 2019, so whatever that is. My wife has been just as involved as I have in different ways. She helps with the women's ministry. She helps with the kids' ministry. My daughters now that are 17 and 13 have started helping in like the media, like running the slides and the tech and stuff like that.
Okay.
Like you said,
Yeah.
you can do that. And My younger daughter helps out in the kids ministry sometimes, and she helps run the slides in the media. That's just real recent that she
Aw.
started doing that. So yeah, they are just as involved as I am.
That's cool.
What values from your faith do you believe are the most important to have in a workplace?
I would say top values from my Christian faith in the workplace would be doing this job as if I was doing it for God, because I am, right?
Yeah.
It's actually, there's scriptures that say not only whether you eat or drink or whatever you do to all to the glory of God, there's other scriptures that say in your work not as for men, but work as you're working for God. And so in the workplace, I want to be honoring God, and like I said, as if I'm doing this job for God. I want God to be happy with the outcome of my job. And so I'd say working to glorify God, and you know, beyond that, being a person. This word is often used in Scripture of being a pastor, but being above reproach. And what that means is, like, you don't want to give anyone reason to question your character, because you're not giving good work and not honoring your word. And I've failed at all this miserably, okay? Like, I'm acknowledge that I have, and I'm so imperfect in all these ways, but that's what I strive for, is being a person who's above reproach, a person of integrity. And it's not because I don't want people to say, oh, he's a guy of integrity. I want people to say, and Russell really loves God, and it shows in his work, because I want to glorify God in those things that I do.
Dang it. They're going to keep talking.
Oh, carry on.
I'm just kidding, guys. Put that in the blooper. That's funny. Okay. So I personally have no more questions. Do you? Okay. Do you have any questions for us?
So let me ask y'all.
Oh, dang it.
some
He's
of-
actually,
I know.
he
some
actually
of
had
the questions
questions.
you
He
asked
brought it
me.
up.
Yeah. So you asked me at the beginning my favorite memories of being at the USW, and at this point now. What are your favorite memories of being at the USW? And it doesn't have to have anything to do with me. Just in general, what are your favorite USW memories?
Okay, I could say I personally have a couple.
Go
While
ahead
you
I
think, okay.
Yeah.
First one. I'd have to agree with one of your memories. Even though it hurt. Jungle Pong was always fun.
All right.
Okay. And another one is, only because this one didn't hurt, I'd say senior night. Yeah, last year. Not senior night, senior day game last year. For those of you who don't know, I got jumped.
Oh, there's video of that, right?
Video
I'm just kidding. Not
No,
inserting
not
that
that
video.
one.
Just kidding. All jokes. Juked you out. But I think I don't even think it's because it's a good memory for me, because obviously but I think it was like nice providing a memory for the seniors, and I liked our group of seniors that year.
All right.
So like I know that they can always be like, oh, I remember my senior night game. There was a big fight. So anyway, and I'd say one more. It's gonna be like all like cheesy and sentimental or whatever, but my friend group, just
All right, yeah.
like our daily hangouts in the living room.
Yeah.
Even though they're gone, I'm gonna make them watch this so they see this part. You're rude for leaving, okay? But our daily hangouts, like in the living room and stuff, we have these big squishmallows, stuffed animals, and we'll literally have these gnarly pillow fights with them. We're going crazy on each other. Like, it's actually the best thing ever. And
It's
Never
like a
gotten
spur of
hurt.
the moment thing too.
yeah, it'll just be like, oh, ha
Having a
ha.
conversation and then
Boom! And it's so funny though.
Has there ever
It's-
been any injuries from a Squishmallow pillow fight?
I think the closest thing is probably mine or Ashley's glasses, like getting knocked off or something.
or falling.
Yeah, but like they haven't broken.
There's
I don't
some
think
jumping
they've
off of
ever-
couches sometimes.
No, but we get crazy and it's so fun because I don't think I'd be able to like look at anyone else and be like, no, I can do that with them. Like this is my little group.
Right on.
You guys are little kitty bees.
That's a good memory.
Thanks.
That's it.
One for sure is like just exploring like hobs with friends for sure.
Just going around town.
Yeah, there's just times like sometimes like
Love drives.
someone will just drive around, we'll just go, or we'll go to some random place and try something different. Like
Okay.
I think that's for sure.
What's the
Then-
worst thing you've ever seen doing that? Or have you ever seen, like, you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I just saw that? Driving.
Car crash.
Oh, yeah.
We were on our way back from church one Wednesday, and there was this car that was
It was
run
like one
into
went
a
off the road
tree,
into a tree.
and we
then-
had to take like a whole like
Detour,
3-street
yeah.
detour
It was
around.
crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty gnarly.
Definitely crazy. I think another one would have to be like again like a friend group. Like we usually have like every movie nights like every
Alright.
Sunday.
Very cool.
And because I have a big old projector.
Mhm.
We'll just.
So you're
The
gonna watch
wall is
Nacho
our
Libre,
TV.
right? This
Oh
time?
yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
we'll
showing
watch
it for
later
her.
today while I do my laundry, whatever.
yeah. I'm gonna show her because.
I'll see it.
Yeah.
It's on the watch list.
Right on.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. Any other questions for us that you would like us to reciprocate?
I think that's all.
Okay.
That was fun.
Well, okay. One last thing for you.
Sure.
Is there any advice that you would give to the students watching this? Any career advice, life advice,
Advice in general,
just advice in general that
Yeah.
sits well with your heart?
or
That's
anything
good.
you just
that
want
would
to say
like
to them.
share?
Yeah. The first thing I would say, life advice, is, and I shared this a little bit at FC the other day,
Mhm.
but number one overall is to believe in Jesus, to believe the gospel of Jesus Christ, that Jesus lived, died, and was raised for you and for your sins to give you the promise of everlasting life with God forever. I would say believe the gospel first. And it's not like saying, okay, I believe that God exists, or I'm going to try to live my life in such a way that I do more good than bad things.
Yeah.
Throw all that out. Believe the gospel. Like, believe what Jesus has done for you. That would be my number one life advice. And then my follow-up to that would be, like we said the other day at FCA, like, once you've believed in Jesus and really believe that he exists, and if you believe he's worthy of worship and praise, seek to honor and glorify him in all areas of your life.
Yeah.
In your thoughts, in your actions, in your motivations, and how you go to work, in your relationships at school, in your relationships at home, in your relationships in the job place. Seek to glorify Jesus Christ in every area of your life. And also, like, be quick to repent. Like, be fast to say I'm sorry and apologize when you've wronged someone.
Yes.
Don't hold unforgiveness in your heart, because that will destroy you. And strive hard. And I would say, like, that is life advice, but that's also career advice. Like, show yourself to be in your career place a hard worker and a person who's humble, a person who's willing to learn, and a person who's willing to take correction, a person who's willing to be quick to forgive and own up to your mistakes.
Yeah.
That's what I would say.
Perfect. Well,
Gonna cry.
thank you, Russell, for, I'd say personally, the last 2 years.
Yeah.
And the 3 years you've given to USW, and the last hour and a half you've given the podcast.
Sure.
And just know we appreciate you very much.
We'll miss you.
And we'll see him. It's fine. Or he's not
We'll go to
dying or
church.
moving, so it's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
But we appreciate you for joining us today. And that is all, guys, for the semester. School's over. Enjoy your summer. And we'll see you again in August. Later, Stings.
See you, chat.
Yes. My hands are sweating. Oh, that was good. See you, chat. I hope Gabby appreciates
I
that.
know.
My younger daughter's going to flip out when she sees that.
You're not even gonna.
I want to make a point.
You stop. Look at that angle of it. Are we ready now? All right. Welcome back to the Career Talk. No, yeah, my hands, knees weak, arms are heavy. Vomit on his sweater already. Mom spaghetti. She's nervous.
Oh, now I'm blue. I'm blue. Oh, there we go.
Hold on.
I was trying to cover my ankle.
Oh, you're covering
Yay! Because I wanted to.
You're so silly. Sorry if I cough in your ear, Brian.
Sit up straight, man.
GoPro made it for the second half.
Hey.
Not
Woo!
blinking or anything.
Yeah, GoPro.
Hello, good afternoon, good morning, good night. Welcome to Career Talk CIA with...
Let him do our intro.
No, yeah, no, sorry. You can.
Thank you for coming here today.
You
This
have to go to
man,
the camera over there.
this man lived a good life.
You have to go.
He had a lush garden, a good woman, and a collection of Russian nesting dolls. May he rest in peace.
Going on the outtakes.
That's in the bloopers.
That's from Nacho Libre.
Oh, I just got like this weird rush of anxiety. Give me a second. Okay. You ready? Okay. Hi, friends. Welcome back. I'm your host, Eliza.
And I'm Elena.
Co-host. Start over. Over. And I'm your co-host, Elena.
Okay. You act like I do this, okay?
Read it. And I'm your co-host.
Still. When Philip do it, he's like, "This is my co-host," and then they say their name, so you know.
That's not. That has to be in the bloopers because Russell did the same thing.
Okay, but I got it.
Who are you talking to? That was funny.
I'm not gonna put it on.
I was like, don't actually put it on because I will never use it again.
I just pretend. At youth pastor, we were going to youth camp, and hey, thanks.
Pretty Russell.
We have a friend in the vent. You want to hear?
And your
Okay, listen. This is our friend. He said,
Is that like a ghost or is it like a
No, I think
No,
it's like an actual like rodent in the.
It
In the
sounds like
vent.
It sounds like it's pushing something.
Yeah,
It's so.
but he's like playing a game up there or something.
It's a squirrel.
I didn't even think about a
I forgot about
squirrel.
squirrels.
I say that because